Hi, I'm Angie Veman, and welcome to Totally Clutch. This is the podcast for women like you to find ways to simplify your business and personal life. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. Welcome back to another episode of Totally Clutch, the Clutch Businesses podcast and vlog. I'm Angie Veman with Clutch Businesses, and today I am very, very excited. I feel like I say that every time, but I'm especially excited this time for our guest, who is a professional speaker and a professional speaking consultant. Her name is Jasmin Haley, and she is all about impact and transformation. So she transforms audiences when she's on the stage, and she transforms her speaking clients to really confidently grow their businesses and their impact using the stage as a platform to do that. So I am excited about this for a couple of different reasons. One, Jasmin is just awesome. She has built an incredible business. She is making incredible changes in people's lives. And I am also, speaking is something that I've always been curious about. And I shouldn't even say curious about, mildly terrified of, and also recognizing the importance of really, really getting to a place of comfort and ease when you're talking to a group of people. And so maybe you feel the same way. And so Jasmin's here to tell us about how we can grow our business using that platform, but also how to do it in a way that feels good and authentic and real and really connects with the audience. So with that, I want to welcome Jasmin to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I can't wait for our conversation today.
Yeah, me too. And you are fresh off a sabbatical that you take every year. So you've got fresh ideas and a fresh perspective to share with us. I'm pumped.
Yes, absolutely. You all are getting me with the best energy ever.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so can you share with us a bit about your background and kind of how you came to do the work that you're doing?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And what people don't realize is some people that meet me is my background started in healthcare. I had a love affair with teeth, y'all. I knew since the age of 13, I wanted to be in dentistry. And I wound up evolving my career into public health, working with underrepresented groups, going into education, and eventually stumbling upon a gift that I had, which was in speaking and educating. And after dealing with a toxic work environment and being introduced to the idea of entrepreneurship, I started my own professional speaking career and my own business solely through speaking and events. And just about 2 years ago, I decided to make the pivot and branch out of the healthcare field and work with other individuals, always keeping my speaking right in the background, but I wanted to amplify my own legacy by helping others utilize the skills that I have, which was in curriculum design and in presentation skills. And so now I get to do the amazing work in my global consulting firm of helping others with refining their presentation skills, creating their signature talk, and also building a strong foundation to make recurring income. There's too many underestimated professionals out there that aren't leveraging their intellectual capital where they can make huge impact with using the power of their voice, but most importantly, the financial aspects that will lead us to doing even further amazing work for the communities that we serve.
That's awesome. So you're not just helping people get confident speaking. You are making sure that they are, confidently talking about the things that matter most to them, or the gifts that they want to share with the world, or with their clients, or with their customers.
Yes. And I'm creating structure around that. So
that's awesome.
A lot of times, and I don't know if you've experienced this, it's hard for us to talk about ourselves, right? It's hard for us to tell our own story. And so a lot of my clients come in with these amazing careers, high level expertise, right? And they have a hard time taking and conceptualizing what they've always known into something that would make sense to package and sell to someone else,
Mm-hmm.
whether that be to an organization or whether it be to collectively create a training program that others can then learn from their level of expertise. So I help them with structuring that, with marketing it, right? Getting the collateral out there to show what it is that you can do, the transformation that you could provide, and helping them structure it so that not only are they making an impact for the audience, but they're also making an impact on the bottom line of their business, of making 5-6 figures or more through their work so they can keep doing it.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, I think that resonates so strongly with me, because I think that, you can try and teach somebody to be a confident speaker, or maybe a better way to say it is, I have seen some really confident speakers in my life, but what they're talking about is just not that interesting, or it's not grabbing me. Like, they are very confident on stage, but the things that are coming out of their mouth, the things that they're sharing, are not that I'm not gravitating towards it. And, myself, when I've had things that I'm just super excited to talk about, I show up in such a different way than if I'm just reading, okay, they told me I have to say something. Okay, here's what I'm going to say, right? Like, that's a very different energy than feeling so good about what I have to talk about. And then, the confidence comes just kind of naturally from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what people don't realize is that the speakers that get called back over and over again, at a point in my speaking career, I no longer had to submit abstracts or proposals. They were coming into me. And they were coming into me because I knew how to connect deeply to my audience. So even though I grew up in Jamaica, Queens, New York City, and I was in Kansas or Nebraska, all right, threatened by cornfields, y'all. And I had tough topics. I was talking about things that could stir up so many things for people where they felt a little bit uncomfortable. My background was working with individuals that were dealing with substance use disorder or living with HIV. People often aren't comfortable about topics like that. Yeah. And so what happened was I would go out there and I would be speaking in places where no one looked like me, or places I have never been. And by the end of those programs, 300, 400, 500 people are coming up after, they're giving me a hug, they're crying on me, telling me about life. And that was because I took a hard topic, a science-based topic, and I learned how to educate through storytelling, and I learned how to connect with the humanity of the audience. And what people don't realize is that when you learn how to speak effectively, the people in the audience will do the job of marketing for you. The event organizers will state your name in rooms that you're not in.
Yeah.
So that you can further your message. And the biggest way in which to make the deepest impact is through in-person or speaking, right? Yeah. And it's a wonderful way to grow your business. It's a wonderful way to make connection, to build community, to build an influence around the topics that matter to you. And so that's why I created the HEART methodology. There was something that was happening every time I spoke, and then I would help and assist others, teaching them what I was doing, but on their own topics. And I was able to see the results that they were getting. And so all of those little seeds along the way of my own professional journey allowed me to gather up this proprietary process I have been using for a long time. And it first started off with students who were looking at me cross-eyed as I was reading off of my slides. Okay.
Yeah. We've all been there.
Right.
That's awesome. Can you share with us a little bit? I mean, you don't have to spill all the details, but can you share with us a little bit about what the HEART method is?
Yeah. So the HEART methodology is my proprietary process in developing a signature program, or in the way you communicate. So when you look at when you communicate, even now when I'm speaking to each of you, I'm considering what story could I share to drive home the goal that I want to bring for the audience members that are listening? So H is the history or his story or her story. What's the story? The E is the end game goal. What is the goal that you want your listeners to achieve by the time you finish speaking, whether you're speaking for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 hours, 4 hours? What is that goal? The A is the aim. How are you going to aim the people in direction of your goal? The R is the results. Here, after I figure out how I'm going to aim them, here are the natural steps that I'm going to take in order to get them the results needed to end at that goal. And then finally, T is the transformation. Every time you speak, you should be looking at ways in which you can transform your audience. We're not here to just stir into people or tickle their ears without any meaning. You want people to leave your space and go out there and pursue the goals that they want to achieve or make an impact in the lives of others that they may be serving.
That's huge. That's so huge. And that transformation, can that transformation be both for you and your business and the people in the audience?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. It can be a number of things. It could be the transformation could be related to your own business. The transformation could be related to the goals that you want to achieve in your particular organization. So you can use the HEART methodology even in a corporate setting. So I have trainings for individuals, for people who are in their own businesses. I have trainings for people who are in the corporate setting so that they can learn how to communicate more effectively. There was a Harvard Business Review study that showed that when a speaker knew how to massively tell a story and to connect with their audience, the brainwave patterns of the audience would start to mimic the actual speaker.
Oh,
and
interesting.
So when you think about something like that, right, you'll start thinking about some of the corporate meetings that you were at where somebody was talking at you rather than with you.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't care what they say, I'm not doing that.
Totally.
But had they used a HEART methodology and spoke to you in a way where you could connect to what they were sharing, even if that's a common objective for an actual business,
yeah,
then you'll have the buy-in, right? And then I'm ready to accept whatever direction that you want to steer me in to help us achieve the goal that we desire.
Yeah, that's huge. I just was reminiscing as you were sharing that about the last boss that I had. He was super smart and his ideas were actually really great. Literally nobody wanted, there was never, there were a few moments where I was like, that's not the greatest idea. But most of the time I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense. But literally nobody wanted to listen to him. Nobody wanted to get on board. Everybody was like, ugh, the second he would start talking, because it was all about him. He just was talking just like you said. And it just became that was such a clear example to me as you were sharing that, because he was a smart guy. He had great ideas, but it's not like they didn't sound like great ideas, but nobody wanted to listen. Nobody was here to support him.
It's unfortunate, and it happens.
Yeah.
And I meet so many speakers who are out there, and the first question that they're asking inside of a Facebook group, because most people want to go to Google University, and that's fine. I'm the queen of DIY until I realized that the dust bunnies in my bank account was not cute. So I had to invest. But a lot of people are like, well, what do I charge for speaking? And where do I find the paid speaking gigs? I don't need a coach. I don't need anything. I just want to know, where do I find them? Sure, I can show you where that is, right? I could tell you what you can charge, right? But if you can't make an impact from the stage, you ain't getting called back, boo-boo.
Right.
And you get one chance, because just like how we talk, and I may say, hey, Angie, girl, let me tell you the tea today. You'll never believe it. All right. It's the same way the event planners speak about the people that they hire.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to start thinking about speaking, not as a hobby. Understand that this is a business. It is a business.
Yeah.
And just like if I was in business and I was starting a brick and mortar, the questions that I would ask would be beyond how much should I charge for this bar of soap?
Yeah.
And where do I find the people that buy soap?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about operations? What about marketing? What about all the other things necessary to sustain that brick and mortar?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same concept with speaking. But people say, I just want somebody to pay me 10K.
Right.
But is the value you're bringing worth 10K?
Yeah. Yeah.
And is your business structure set up to support 10K and then some?
Mm-hmm.
And most of us will say no.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that so interesting? I actually have this conversation a lot with my clients. So a lot of them come and they want to focus on marketing. Like they want to start marketing, which, in essence, this is a sophisticated and high touch way of marketing, right? Speaking. But they want to focus on that. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's so great. But you can't even, you are so burnt out on serving the people that you already have. So yes, you want to make more money, but like, what do you have in place to support making more money? Because right now you're like, moment to moment laying on the bathroom floor crying because you're so overwhelmed with everything that you have to do. So you're going to ask more people to come, and then what's going to happen? Like,
yes,
it gets messy.
Yes. Prepare for the rain.
Yes.
Right. Don't prepare for the rain. So right now I'm in the process of hiring someone from my team because I'm prepared for the rain, y'all.
Right.
Okay. I set out and said, my mission is to get 1,000 professionals on the stage.
Oh,
right.
Great.
Underestimated, underrepresented professionals that have something to say. They just don't have the tools yet to structure it out. But once they get those tools, y'all,
yeah,
it's on and popping, right?
It's on. Yeah.
Yes, it's on. So, when you think about a situation like that and you are responding to fires, sometimes you got to slow down in order to speed up. We've heard that already. Mm-hmm. For me, when I had a whole bunch of failed launches and I was denying that this was my calling.
Yeah.
In fact, I said, I'm only going to do business consulting and help you get to 6 figures, right? That was what I was talking about.
Okay.
And guess what my clients were telling me? They were saying, oh, Jasmin, can you look at this speaker abstract for me? Oh, Jasmin, can you help me with my speaking here and there? And I'm like, I'm not a speaker coach. Yes, I've been speaking all these years. I'm not trying to be a speaker coach because y'all don't want to pay me. That's what I was telling myself, right? So everything was on fire for me. And I had to pause, take a break, and then do what I was afraid of. So what I want people to understand is that this is a form of speaking. Speaking is one of the most powerful assets that you can have in growing your business.
Yeah.
And you can speak and find your ideal clients without paying a dime. We put money into Facebook ads just in case, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll find our clients versus locking down some topics that are related to things in your business, making your brand and your thought leadership undeniable, and someone paying you. I'm actually paying you. Somebody's paying you to speak in front of your leads.
Yeah.
I don't know where else you can do that.
It's amazing, right? Like that is above and that far surpasses these mini, what do they call them? Like mini offers that people are using to pay. So they're charging like $20 just to cover the cost of the ads. Nobody's buying those. And if they are, they're not buying a $10,000 program from you afterwards, right? But so this is like the most amazing, most sophisticated version of pocket products. That's what they're called, right?
Yes,
This is way better because you're doing something fun. You're connecting with people and getting paid.
Yeah. How about you get paid and then you decide to give the 300 people in there all a pocket product?
Yeah.
You have that undivided attention, and now you're giving 300 people your pocket product.
Mm-hmm.
And what percentage of those people could potentially go onto your site and enter into your sphere of influence that could eventually become clients?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So people sleep
huge.
on speaking. Yes, it's huge, but people sleep on it and they don't want to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't want to do the work of getting better in their speaking. They don't want to do the work of pitching themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's a lot of visibility. But if you know and truly believe that life is futile, you don't know at what point in time your time is up. If you truly believe that, and you truly believe and have faith in who you are as a person and why you've been put here to do the work that you're doing, and knowing that you'll be able to figure it out, you will get visible. You will not allow anything to prevent you from doing that. And it was the loss of my own mother, seeing her die like this, that started my thinking about legacy. That's why all of my programs are start with the word legacy.
Yeah.
Because it's going to push you out of letting fear take the driver's seat. And it's going to say to you, hey, Angie, if you decide not to move forward with this action today, would you regret it?
Yeah. That's huge. It's huge. And not to mention that we, all of us created a business. I mean, I think, some of us created a business. Well, I'll just say that we all created a business that we are proud of. We are doing things that we know are making an impact in people's lives. So it's so interesting to me, and I am not excluding myself from this, but it's so interesting to me that we still, knowing that, we wake up every day knowing that, and we built an entire business and an entire life around that, and we're still not even a bit, we are still hesitant as hell to put that out into the world, to share that with as many people as possible. And I think what I love, there's so many things that I love about your work, but I think one of the things that I love about it is you're cleaning that all up, just like you said. So we might be making an impact in people's lives, but we don't know how to articulate it. We don't know how to package it up and make it easy to digest. So you're doing that and creating a platform for us to spread that further and further in a way that feels really good to us. Like it doesn't, it's not this Facebook ads game where you're, that's not who we are, right? Like nobody wakes up unless you run a Facebook ads business. Nobody wakes up in the morning like pumped about how they're showing up in Facebook ads and pumped about the Facebook ads game or, whatever it is, right? But this is a truly authentic way to really show up for you, to show up for your business, and to show up for all the people's lives that that you can change.
Yes, absolutely. And what I've seen from people who don't move forward, it all boils down to their thought process of whether or not they're really, truly worthy of it.
That's huge.
That's what it boils down to. If they feel
How do you help them get over that?
I have had plenty. So part of my work is mindset work.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm like a non-certified licensed therapist.
Yeah. 95% of the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my job is to remind you of how amazing you are. And we could do that right now for anyone that's listening right now. Just take a roster or an audit of what you've been able to accomplish in your life today, despite the challenges, despite the adversities. What does the pattern show you from that journey? It showed for me for me personally, I'm a believer that God never left my side. It also showed for me that I found a way to dig myself out of so much scarcity and envision a life beyond anything I could imagine. I used to sit and lay and think about going to Disney World, never have the opportunity to do it. Now I'm able to provide that for my children multiple times a year if I decide to do that. Mm-hmm. How in the world did I make that happen? Well, I didn't have all the steps outlined for me.
Yeah.
But somehow, some way I figured that out. That's what we have to get firmly rooted in, is that we have a God-given right, a birthright, just because we're breathing, to see our goals through. Mm-hmm. We're worthy of it. And if you decide to change your mind, so what? If anybody's been watching me since day one, I pivoted 50 million times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until I found what worked. And I also realized too, and this is a really important especially for women in particular, we have been culturally taught to not take up space, to not show up for ourselves. I don't know if you've ever heard this term. I certainly did. Children are to be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
And so we internalize that. There's a part of our brain, the amygdala and all these other things, I'm not going to get too sciencey on y'all, that controls our unconscious behavior. And we get to a point where we have these desires and we almost think that, who are you to be, going after X, Y, and Z? Who are you to be going after these particular goals? So when I first set out and said, I want to be a professional speaker, and there was nobody on the speaker circuit in my industry that looked like me. Yeah. There was no brown ladies, okay? Mm-hmm. From Jamaica, Queens. There was nobody. Everybody was older. Everyone was older white females that had been in the industry. Thank God for them. I appreciate them. They were the crusaders. But now it's time also for some diversity of thought as well. Yeah. If I allowed that to dictate to me on where I would be, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you right now. Yeah. I would probably still be in the clinic or teaching, right? It may not even be as fulfilled. Yeah. So I needed to put at the forefront my children's face because I didn't feel worthy enough. Mm-hmm. So for you all, maybe you haven't done the healing work yet to feel like you're deserving. Yeah. Well, who in your life, what loved one in your life could you put there? Because I had my girls watching me when I was going through my burnout. I had my girls watching me. I was going through my bouts of depression and the challenges I was facing. What message was I sending to them?
Yeah.
And so that was enough of a push for me to start the journey of making those choices. And now I make those choices because I know I'm worthy.
Yeah.
I don't need another person's face there. I got this beautiful mocha chocolate latte skin.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and fully embracing it. I love that you, I don't know. I love the honesty of, it does take, you have to have maybe a little catapult to get to that place. But now you had that, and now you are fully embracing it. And I think there's a moment where, there's a moment that I hope we all feel of where you can keep holding on, you can keep putting those people at the forefront, or you can fully embrace who you are, fully embrace all of you and your worth. And it is like, I have memories of those moments multiple times where I have sometimes taken a step back and sometimes I have fully embraced it. But it's such a moment in time that is now memorable to me that I can recall. And so I love that you stepped fully into it. It's awesome. And that you're teaching other people to do the same thing or guiding people to do the same thing.
Yeah. And I can't tell you how many times, most of the time during my sessions, that my clients cry. And that's good. That's good. Let it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Something so deeply personal about speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's something so deeply personal about telling your story or telling the stories of situations that may have impacted you to do the work that you do. There's something personal about that. But there's a realization that happens for many of my clients who are the bomb.com.
Yes. Yes.
But they still have held themselves back.
Yeah.
When they fully realize, when that piece unlocks for them, the floodgates happen because it's almost like you're grieving a part of yourself that has served you to some way to protect you as you were going through your journey. But now it's time to let them go.
Yeah.
And step into this space now of growing your business with speaking. And it's a wonderful thing. I love it. I'm not speaking as much as I would like to because I'm helping so many people now
Right.
do it for themselves. But I love it. And I love seeing the light bulb click and then them going on stages and slaying it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So are you coaching people to make money through the fees that they're getting paid from speaking, or are you coaching them to make money that way, but also to grow the revenue in their business as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I teach them to do it through speaking, but also look at other ways in which you can supplement it. It's beyond your speaker's fee, y'all.
Yeah.
You can license your intellectual property. Someone would be willing to pay you just to learn from you in a recorded learning management system, right? So there are other ways in which you can maximize and grow your business through speaking and training. And that's what I help my clients do. But I think also what's really amazing is, and one of the biggest lessons in my own business journey was when I developed the skill of self-leadership and trusting my own intuition. And when I was able to do that, it was like, I noticed when I would ask my coach a question, like 5-10 minutes later, I was like, okay, I just want to let you know I already have the answer, but I'll just, I'm good. But go ahead and just tell me what you got to say, but I actually know what I want.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things that I want my students to have is I want you to have the skills to create a course, to speak extemporaneously, right? And reach people's hearts. I want you to be able to trust yourself and know how to leverage your intellectual property beyond the speaker's fee. And how does that align with your business? So for those of you who may just be starting or even may be seasoned, I'll tell you a few things that you really need to work on right now to really kickstart it back again. Number one, work on your confidence. You're never going to feel 100% prepared. But I want you to remember that the richest place on earth is a graveyard. Les Brown talks about this. And that's where people's unwritten books, their unsung songs, their talks never given on the stage, right? Virtually or in person, are resting. It's not Dubai. That's the richest place on earth. It's California. It's not California. It's not New York. My mother's hopes and dreams, she never had the opportunity to fulfill. And I learned that after reading some of her writings. And there's many of us that go on in life not honoring ourselves. So number one, you need to be confident and understanding it's your birthright to share your story. Because as soon as you go out there and you get visible, either you'll scrutinize yourself or some hater will come along the way and say one thing.
Yeah.
All right.
One.
And I'm a drama queen. I'm like, oh. The second thing is you need to curate a strong business foundation. So the way I start with my clients is create your signature talk. Don't be a corporate hoe. Don't be out there speaking on every single topic underneath the sun. Make it make sense. Because if your heart's not connected into it, you're not going to be able to reach the hearts of your audience. So when you select your signature talk, make sure it's aligned with where you want to be. What are your main goals? What are the goals of your business? If your business isn't aligned, your topic sure won't be. So you need clarity on that, and you need to solidify that signature talk. And then the third thing is you have to create your platform. You have to create the opportunity to amplify your voice. So that means that you need to pitch yourself like it's nobody's business. Every day.
Yeah.
Not every day. Not every day. Not every day. Every day. So pitch your network. Share on social that you're speaking.
Yes.
Stop sitting on the sidelines thinking somebody's going to hand you a paid speaking gig. It ain't going to happen that way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, that's for anything that we're doing in our business, right? Like I mean, it's just, the sitting and waiting. And I mean, it's just all the things that we're doing are so exciting if we just take a step back and recognize that. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to share. We just have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge. Mm-hmm. I love it. I have a very selfish question to ask you. I know that I'm also being conscious of the time. Maybe, okay. Okay, I'm going to ask it. So there is.
She's taking lessons. You're taking the lessons.
I'm going to take up a little extra space. So having a podcast is awesome. You get to meet a ton of people. You get to have great conversations. There are a lot of people that reach out. A shocking number of people that reach out to be guests on. I don't mean that a shocking number of people, but a shocking number of people take this tactic of they are business owners. They have a business that offers services or products to people. And what they want to do is come on to the show and they want to talk about their personal journey. And I'm curious if that is that an effective, and what I mean by that is that they want to talk not about, sometimes they want to talk about how they found their business, like how they came to it, the struggles, the trials, the tribulations to get there, to be successful. But their business is not about coaching other people in their businesses, right? Like totally unrelated. Or they want to come and talk about like a personal story that again has nothing to do with their business. And I guess I'm always curious about that. Like, is that an effective sales strategy to kind of distance yourself from your business and show up, as a human with struggles and healing that you've done? Does that work to guide people towards your business, or doesn't it matter? That's not what they're trying to do.
So I feel that you have to decide what feels best to you on how you're going to show up in the world. So for me, I have been on podcasts that I haven't mentioned speaking at all. It was just me sharing my journey and my story. However, there's still a transformation at the end of that, right? If we're following the heart methodology, the transformation is to help other business owners avoid the mistakes I made in my pivots in my own business, right? Or for individuals to avoid the mistakes I made, right? And learn from the lessons that I've shared so that they can avoid burnout. Mm-hmm. So those are like two examples of where I may talk about it. But I talked about it and I included it a part of our conversation today. Now, if someone is focused only on that aspect, you get to a place where people feel let down. And then let me explain that to you. Just like in any conversation, when you're speaking to anyone, people need direction. They're not going to just magically think of, oh man, that felt so good and amazing. So I used to speak and I would just speak and I would just speak and that was it, right? Yeah. So they were like, oh man, yeah, I feel empowered. Yeah, let's go. Where are we going? Where are we going?
Where?
So at some point, right. Okay. Well, so at some point in time, if you want it to be a part of your business model, you're going to have to direct people.
Mm.
Now, think about this conversation, y'all, the audience who's listening in. I didn't talk about what my offers are.
Mm.
You're getting to know me as a person. You're getting to learn my philosophy. I'm pouring into you because I know whether or not you buy my stuff or not. I'm good.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm firmly rooted in who I am. And I'm also firmly rooted in understanding the trajectory along my life that I've always been taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the end, there'll be an invitation to join my sphere of influence, but there's no need for me to heavily sell either. And that's because my philosophy is to reach the heart. Whereas some people, the entire time, they're speaking about their offering. Mm-hmm. And I have seen through me teaching in education, through teaching adults, through working with people in a digital setting and teaching, through me being on the stage in person, it never fails. If you don't learn how to connect to the heart, people are going to have a whole bunch of other tasks on their list. Mm-hmm. So everything you do in business, you need to have some sort of strategy. You don't have to lose your impact. You don't have to lose being legacy driven. You don't have to lose your heart. But you can't show up in every single place just talking about willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah.
Too much of one thing may not always be a good thing. So always remember that it's okay for you to ask for the sale by inviting them into your community. Mm-hmm. What are you here doing the work that you're doing?
Right.
Now, if you decide that your business is a hobby, that's fine too. But if you got bills to pay, invite people into your community. There's nothing wrong with that because this is an exchange, just an exchange. I've got a solution for you. You're providing me a monetary value and monetary energy for the energy that I'm putting back into you that you'll be able to utilize in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts if somebody was in that situation, and considering, how they're showing up. But I also believe that we shouldn't be waiting for the opportunity. We need to be creating our own stages as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, as a business owner, almost everything. I mean, there are a few that I can think of where it's not appropriate, but almost every place that we are, every situation that we're in is an opportunity to share our work in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You can provide value and still invite people.
Totally.
I don't see it as, for me, I had to shift my mind and see it as an invitation. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a great example. I was doing a lot of Clubhouse when it first came out. And I was talking about speaking. This is before I made my full shift. And I was talking about speaking and I gave this amazing Clubhouse audio experience. I treated it like how I would treat my events. And then I said, all right, y'all, our hour is up. Have an awesome day.
They're like, wait.
So I get a voice memo from an attendee of that Clubhouse audio room that said, I feel let down.
Oh.
Because I was just thinking about how I wanted to get my voice out there, how I wanted to do more, and how I wanted to get to X, Y, and Z in my particular life. I was struggling with that. I come to your Clubhouse room and you say, okay, now that you're excited, go ahead and take a nap and go to sleep. Bye.
Right.
And I'm lost now on, well, where do I even start and where do I go? Mm-hmm. Well, that could have been my invitation for that person that was waiting. I let them down. So every time you don't show up for your business and invite people into the experience that you have, you're letting that individual down that is desperately in need of what you have to offer.
Totally. And when you think about all the work that you put into creating your offerings, you I think most of us do a lot of work of figuring out what people actually need and what they are looking for and what they are searching for, not from a selfish place, but from a place of like wanting to provide value to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how you created it. It just so happens that you make money doing it, but that's how you created it. And so then to not offer it to them, yeah, I get it. They're thirsty for it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that was my own worthiness issues.
Totally.
Getting in the way. I don't want to be so salesy.
Uh-huh.
I've already asked them already.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm asking it again. Listen, you join my list, I will sell to you every single time.
Yes. Yeah. Because that's why we're there, right? We're not there to get free information. We're there to figure out if we want to work with you and and if you're going to solve the problem that we're looking to solve, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I give a ton of free content as well, but you're going to know about the paid experiences that just take the work that I do to the next level.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so that brings us to, I know that I have been feeling this whole time like, okay, I got to make sure that I look at what she's doing next because I am sold. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. So I'm going to put up on the screen. Do you want to tell us about the Profitable Speaker Roadmap?
Yeah. So
they can find you.
Yes, absolutely. So I put together a quick guide so that you can ask yourself the important questions to gauge and assess where you are in your speaking and where your gaps may be. And so you may have heard in our discussion, I talked about the 3 ways. First, you need to build your confidence, and you need to curate your signature talk. But the curation part is actually beyond the signature talk. There's so many other things, systems, how you're nurturing the audience, all of that. And then we need to create the platform for us to amplify our voice. So the Profitable Speaker Roadmap is my free guide. It will have the actual questions based on the framework that I shared, y'all. That's one of my frameworks. You heard 2 frameworks today, the HEART methodology, and this is my legacy scalar framework. And so you'll have the opportunity to review that, assess yourself. You'll be entered into my email list, of course, but there's no pressure. It's meant for you to just sit back, grab a glass of wine or whatever it is that you drink, and just ask yourself these particular questions and see where are my gaps and where should I, as you strengthen that intuition, right? As you strengthen your self-leadership, where are some of the gaps in my business and what makes sense to me for me to move forward next in my speaking?
Mm-hmm. That's great. Awesome. Mm-hmm. And then generally, if people just want to find out more about your offerings, about what you do, they can find you at jasminhaley.com.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. I'll be hanging out there. I'll be hanging out on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm there.
Are you still doing a lot of Clubhouse stuff?
Absolutely not.
No. That's awesome.
My jam is in person. I love in-person experiences. So as soon as it was like open, I was like, when am I hosting my next event?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I think everybody was on the same page. Clubhouse is kind of, it had its glory days and now not so much.
Yeah. There's some people on there though. Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah. Awesome. Jasmin, this was amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing everything that you did. And honestly, just to thank you for the work that you're doing. I mean, I feel grateful that you did pivot as much as you did and that, you ultimately found yourself here because it's important what you're doing. Really, really important.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I love it. I thank God every single day. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's really amazing work. And I just can't wait to see how it continues to grow.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Me too. Yay. Thanks, Jasmin. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. Rate and review this podcast and share it with all of your friends. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you're leaving with some great things that can help you move from hustle to flow. because I believe in you and your business. Until next time.